I had not long returned back from leave and my 3-week bailout mission from the cutback ship when I was made acting production manager once more. The production manager had just come back from his leave and a bailout mission from the reject ship, where he was filling in for the automation engineer when he ran out of blood pressure pills. He was then medically disembarked until his blood pressure normalised. He just had to set out a crew, so I once again took over. It was the rehearsal of the Welcome Aboard show, the only production show that involves the orchestra. The musical director, the MD, and the bass player were both on leave, so were replaced for 2 months. This rehearsal was painfully slow. It should be 3 songs on click track for the production cast and 3 songs from a cabaret singer. I was sat in the auditorium with the dance captain, taking notes. The MD was making mistakes all over the place with his piano playing. At one point the stupid cunt went out of time. How the fuck could this be? The fuck-faced cunt was on a click track. It wasn't possible to be out of time as he plays to the click sound in his headset. We started and stopped too many times. I leaned over to the dance captain. If you're happy with the cast, dismiss the dancers and keep the singers on stage. I don't see the point in everyone missing dinner at this point, I said. The dance captain agreed and we both went up to the stage. Dancers, come with me to the dressing room and singers stay on stage, said the dance captain. I followed with, okay singers, don't worry about the movements, just stand around the piano and sing along. The MD piped up, you can't dismiss most of the cast while we're rehearsing. I cut the man a look. Okay mate, I said, there's no point in having the dancers stop and start halfway through a movement because you can't play the fucking song. The singers are still here to accompany you, and the longer you don't get the 3 songs right, the longer no one gets to dinner. So don't forget, you still have 3 guest entertainer songs to get right as well. I went to leave the stage and went to talk to the noise boy and nothing happened. As I turned to leave the stage, I said at the top of my voice, please continue. The longer you're here, the hungrier your band are going to get. The sound engineer started the click track once more and the band began to play. As the intro to the first song started, everyone but the pianist and the bass player started. The band stopped one by one. Sorry, I wasn't ready, shouted the MD. The noise boy started the click from the beginning once more, and the band began to play. It was a painful hour of starting and stopping until eventually the MD and the bass player got the 3 songs right. The cast singers all looked furious as they left the stage. Now it was the turn of our guest entertainer. It was a bit of bad luck. The band, with the exception of the MD and the bass player, have backed this guest entertainer many times before, but that did not help the further hour and a half it took to complete the 3 songs. This only left the band and the crew 45 minutes for dinner and back ready for the curtain up. The first show was an embarrassment. It was as though we shouldn't have even bothered with the long rehearsal. Every mistake was repeated and I was furious. Once the show was over, I went to the HDD recorder, stuck in a DVD and began to burn a copy. The second show came and went and it was no better. The video of that show burned off, and that is where I made the decision to record every cabaret show. It was time to get the entertainment manager, as it wasn't fair on the band, the crew and the singers. A few days had passed with the same result. The MD was out of time as well as the bass player, and it was time to take action. I emailed a message to our new entertainment manager. She was covering our usual manager for 2 months, and I found her to be a piece of work, though I never had a problem with her, as she only wanted to put her mark on things while she was here. She replied to my email and asked me to see her after the show. I entered the entertainment office and closed the door behind me. This was not a conversation for prying ears. We have a major problem, I said to the entertainment manager. And what problem is that? She replied. I handed her a small stack of DVDs. It is my duty to point out to you that we are all being laughed at, I said. What do you mean? She replied. Members of the audience were laughing at the band in the last show. Every time they made a mistake, they were heckling the stage, and quite frankly, I'm sick of it. This Andy just makes so many mistakes, and the bass player can't even play in time to the rest of the... But you're not a musician, so how do you know they are making mistakes, she said. I looked at her and let out an exasperated sigh. Well, firstly, I've seen this show quite a few times, so I know how it should sound. Secondly, all the mistakes from the piano are obvious, as you can hear missed keys and sausage fingers. Thirdly, the bass player is completely out of time with the rest of the band. I pulled out my phone and loaded up a video of the audience heckling the band and hit play. I slid my phone across the desk. Look, they are laughing at us, and to be honest, I'm totally concerned that we're going to consistently lose our CSQ scores, which have always been high. Something has to be done, I said. The entertainment manager looked at the video, then looked at me. She looked mortified at the heckles coming from the audience. "If you were in my place, what would you do?" said the entertainment manager. "I would have you order me to keep recording rehearsals and shows and build a case, then report it to head office. And with a stack of recorded proof, the fleet MD can make the decision," I said. "But this guy's been with the company for years, and is it really down to me to deal with it when no one else has bothered to do it in the past?" she said. I looked at her and shook my head. "It's up to you. I'm just telling you my opinion and presenting you with the evidence to back up my opinion, and I will continue to record everything even without your consent," I said. "Okay, let's leave it for now and let the cover settle in a bit more. But you carry on recording everything and I will get back to you with a plan of action." She thanked me and showed me to the door. I wasn't happy about this, but there was nothing much I could do about it. I just had to take a bite out of the shit sandwich that we've all been served and just wait it out. A couple of days later, I sat at my desk in the entertainment office catching up with the daily emails and planning the next few days' daily tasks for the crew, when the ND walked in and sat down at the desk next to mine. The ND logged onto the computer to do something or other. I couldn't quite work out what it was, as he never did any paperwork. The ND turned to me and said, in his thick Hungarian accent, "Can you log a defect for me, please?" "Okay," I said. "What's wrong?" The ND looked at me and took his glasses off and said, "There's a problem with the electronic piano for the orchestra set up in the theatre." I opened up the defect log and started the work order. "Okay, I've opened the work order," I said. "What's wrong with it?" The ND replied, "It doesn't play in key with the rest of the pianos. It needs to be tuned." I didn't know what to say. How could I respond to this request? I just wanted to laugh in the man's face. How the fuck can you tune an electronic piano? It's programmed to be pitch perfect via its memory chip. I said with a slow and sarcastic tone, "You want me to have someone tune your electric piano?" I paused and looked to the entertainment manager, who overheard this bizarre request. "I will put the request into the defect log. In the meantime, I'll have someone bring you the spare unit to the theatre." "Thank you," said the MD. I pretended to fill out the request into the defect log, then promptly closed the program without saving it. I locked my computer screen and walked over to the entertainment manager. "Do you have a second for a walk into the theatre?" I said to the entertainment manager. "I've got something you might want to see in the control room." The entertainment manager nodded and didn't say anything. She just followed me out the office into the theatre's auditorium and into the control room. All the way on this short trip, neither of us said a word. I opened up the control room's door and then burst out laughing. The entertainment manager started to laugh. After about 5 minutes, we stopped laughing, and I said to the entertainment manager, "What do you want to do about this situation? I can't take much more of this dipshit." The entertainment manager said, "Don't you should say that. He claimed that last night's cabaret's dots were full of mistakes. Any idea if they're actually any good?" I looked at the entertainment manager. "As far as I'm aware, they are the best that money can buy, as this singer has been in the West End circuit for nearly 20 years, and the odds are that she has a West End quality MD draw them up for her. I can get the band leader of the 4-piece band to look at them and verify them, as he draws dots for big chunks of our cabarets." "Please do," said the entertainment manager. She continued with, "I've already emailed the fleet MD and he's asked me for time indexes for mistakes from the recordings, so I need you to do that for me." I let out a big sigh. I really didn't want to have to do this. It would take God knows how many hours to get through this ever-growing stack of recordings that had been piling up in the entertainment manager's desk. I nodded and said, "Yeah, I'll do it. Give me 2 days and it'll be done. Though I won't index the mistakes on the rehearsals, I'll just do the shows." "Thanks, Paul," she said as she left the control room. I left the control room and made my way back to my cabin to pick up my headphones. Once there, I lit a cigarette, grabbed my headphones and my laptop, cracked open a beer and necked it. Then I returned to the entertainment office to begin even more noise torture from indexing these terrible recordings. The next day had come around all too quickly. I'd blitzed through all the recordings as I simply wanted to get this done. I felt tired. My ears were hurting as well as having a god-awful headache. To get this done, I skipped the crew bar last night, something that I never liked doing. I just resent having to go into my personal time to deal with a problem that should never have occurred. I was really pissed off. I went over to the office printer scanner and started to scan my notes of damnations into my computer. There's about 20 A4 pages of notes to scan, and I and I was getting even more pissed off as each page went through the machine. Once it was done, I emailed all the documents to the entertainment manager, then went over to her vacant desk and left all the hard copies in a folder laid over her computer's keyboard. I placed all the DVDs next to the keyboard and returned to my desk. I sent a damning email to the entertainment manager and checked my emails. Nothing new was in the inbox. So I locked my computer screen and went back up to the buffet for breakfast. After I had finished breakfast, I found my way back down to the promenade deck and lit my cigarette. My pager went off and I pulled it out. Surprise, surprise, it was the entertainment manager. I didn't hurry to the nearest phone. I just finished my cigarette, then made my way down to the entertainment office. I went inside and passed the partition door to the entertainment manager's half of the office, closing the door behind me. "Thank you for this," she said. "I've already had an email from the fleet MD. He'll be sending out our resident MD at the end of this cruise, as the resident MD has agreed to cut his leave short." "Thank fuck for that," I said. "I really can't wait for this lying cunt to leave this ship. I'm guessing the dots checked out with the band leader of the four-piece band. It was the band leader of the four-piece that actually drew the dots, and he threw a major wobbler at the MD for saying his work is shit," said the entertainment manager. I bit my lip, then let out a laugh. "And they say a good workman should never blame his tools," I said with a grin. "So true," said the entertainment manager. She continued with, "I've got some good news for you." "What, better than this fake-ass MD is leaving? What could be better?" I said. "You're being relieved of being the acting production manager when we return to Southampton." I punched, "Yeah, thank fuck for that," I bellowed. "I'm going to have a beer to celebrate. You coming with me for one? It's a bit early for me, but I'll come with you and have a soft drink, and I'll put it on the department's account." "Sweet," I said. We both left the office and I walked down to the corridor to the British pub, where we began to celebrate our jobs becoming easier and how they should be. I ordered a bottle of London Pride and began to enjoy the rest of the cruise.